say that from the beginning, Sugar Hill Gang, what was it? Did you ever see that episode of Drunk History where it explains that the first famous rap song was like an industry plant, literally?
What, the first rap song ever?
Yeah, the Mambo number 5 or whatever.
I just
it's
remember
called.
hearing like the person that
hop.
No, like the first person.
The hip hop. That one.
It was like the first person to sign
Sugar
off.
Hill Gang.
Wasn't it like to sign off? Like the first rap song that was licensed or something was like
it was a
woman
bunch of freestylers, right? And it was like Cool Herc or something, and then one of them got like kicked out of the group. Basically, the group was formed by like an A&R.
Well, there was
woman
a group,
who obviously wasn't in the group.
It was a black woman
because oddly enough, female rappers weren't a thing until way
started rap as like an industry thing, but it's been going on.
She was girl boss.
That's cool though. Like I love rhyming.
I forget what her name is.
I'm not like I'm not like Eminem or like a white rapper or anything, but I love rhyming too.
But no, the story, just to be clear though, the story behind that was
some freestyles.
It was a bunch of freestyle rappers. They didn't think that the ethos of hip hop had anything to it shouldn't be recorded and sold as a commodity. Which is true. That's what
Should I do a beat and you do a couple little bars of freestyle right now?
I think all the white people that enjoy this program would probably love that.
Like all 30,000 of them, like all 22,000 of our listeners.
Anyone can listen to this show, just to be clear. I like that thing you were saying about Urkel, but I do think that is a Kanye West.
Well, I'm stealing shit. No, it's not Kanye West. That's Urkel.
Did I do that?
I don't know what the show was called. Was it called Urkel? Was the show Urkel, or is he just a character on a? It was a character on a show. It was a classic show on TV. Urkel. He was like a nerdy guy.
But that's the punchline and
he's like, did I do that?
He goes,
I'm sure that
the
Kanye
drums
would,
cut out and he goes, did I do that?
Well, I'm sure Kanye would like make a reference to Urkel at some point. I'm sure a lot of people have made references to Urkel. It was like classic TV.
He's the Urkel of rap.
It was awesome.
He's the Urkel of rap. But I wanted to say that. Do you remember when Kanye West ate Lupe Fiasco's lunch?
Dude, honestly,
in like 2000
I don't know.
When they first dropped?
I think it was 2000. I remember like thinking that, being made to think that like Kanye was acting crazy with the Hurricane Katrina stuff with but then like really he was like,
was that before or after the Taylor Swift thing? That was before. That was the first one.
Yeah, that was before. It was like it was Hurricane Katrina, and they had like Chris Rock, and it was like a Hurricane Katrina fundraiser.
Black skinhead was the most controversial thing.
Well, he was like live or something, and then he started going off on how like they're saying that like people like trying to survive that are black are like looting and shit, but like white people don't get noticed.
Black people.
Yeah, but he was saying like people are blaming only black people if they're like gathering resources during a apocalyptic event, pretty much like you're trying to survive, and they're saying it
was Rodney King, right? It was all the news. No, because all of the news organizations were sort of narrativizing it in a way that made it seem like a bunch of criminal behavior.
I didn't see any of what he was referencing, but I'm sure that's what they did.
It's like the news producers. He probably thought the news producers were gathering specifically footage of black people. Even
after Hurricane Katrina, this happens like every time where like people kind of like naturally like in a survival situation, like everything's flooded or something. You're gonna like look for resources in like a store or something, and you're gonna like take stuff. You're probably just gonna take stuff, but then black people would get. That's like looting, but then white people can just do it or something. Like that's what he's
probably
saying.
His take on it
he's
is
saying,
that
like,
there's a bunch of white people looting that didn't get filmed by a news crew.
He's just saying it's more racism and stuff, basically, and like he was just calling. But what was spinning
also
out
New Orleans is
that was a viral
people who live
thing.
In New Orleans are black anyway.
I'm just saying that was a viral thing. Like when we were in like high school,
people who are white who live in New Orleans. What's up with that?
I was in like high school or something, and pretty much the buzz of it was like he was just crazy and he didn't know what he was talking about, but it's like later on it like makes sense. Also, Chocolate Rain Some stay dry and others feel. Wait, copyright claim.
Tay
It's gonna get claimed now. But that shit was fucking woke.
rendition.
It was fucking woke as shit. And we just thought it was funny because he's like, I turned away.
Wait, what does that have to do with Kanye?
I'm just saying, like, he also was being woke. Kanye was being woke during Hurricane Katrina, and he was thought of as being crazy.
But hold on.
And Chocolate Rain.
As long as we're gonna like fucking talk about
he was
him
being. That was one of the. It was like poetry, like really. It was a really.
No, but did you see that thing where as early as 2015?
I still listen to it.
As there was a clip from 2015 of Kanye saying something that was like in praise of Hitler. Did you see that?
Dude,
it was a long time ago.
Did you hear about his new song?
Absolutely.
Well, I remember I loved.
Why do you think
one of my favorite songs? I'm not like a big Kanye fan or anything. I didn't really know.
Today.
Like I didn't really like resonate with. I don't know. His music was like there on like radio and all this stuff, and he was really popular. But like I didn't really know. I didn't really like listen to music like that, I guess.
Well, I would be remiss as a white person to not make a heartfelt comment on the state of mental health.
I loved the Flashing Lights song, and you know but it was in GTA 4.
That was like the third album, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but like it was with one of the guys from Backstreet Boys.
The first 3 albums are like
Flashing Lights,
almost like a different universe.
And he said, I hate paparazzi. He said, I hate paparazzi more than a Nazi. And it's like, okay, so...
Okay, no.
So he said, so he hates paparazzi.
Actually, hold up.
Because the paparazzi are all in your business and they're just there to make money off of like publicity.
So like, he's saying all this stuff that could be construed as like fascist Nazi stuff. There's a John. Do you know who John Wayne is? He's a white rapper, right?
Well, of course he hates a paparazzi more than a Nazi because he likes Nazis.
No, that's a crazy thing to say.
He just puts a paparazzi as like a higher op level than
I'm just saying,
a Nazi
because he
affiliates with Nazis.
There's this guy, John Wayne. He's a white rapper from LA, and he has a lyric from like back in 2013. Like, I want to say it was Rap Album 2. I don't. Look it up. He says the word fascist in one of his songs. It's John Wayne, one word, but he's like
down with that. He says it in a way that's like
he says it in a way that's like I'm a badass for being fascist. He's like I protect my people like I'm a fascist. Like
okay, like he's like
strong like a fascist. Like
like being like a good dictator.
He's like strong on the mic. Like, and that's a white guy from LA who's like perfectly uncanceled. He's on YouTube right now making music.
It's like a freestyle in the moment.
This is my Resident Evil samples.
It's just being intense. Like it doesn't. You don't have to.
Here's
be
another one for you.
That.
Here's
like,
another one for you. This is gonna blow your mind, man.
You know?
Hold up. Did you see the Kanye West Cousins? The song where he talks about...
I know about it. I kind of heard like a line. I heard the line.
He gave his cousin how to remember.
Yeah. I've seen the lyrics and stuff.
So one of the bands
Twitter
that I've been really into since the early days of Pitchfork is Broken Social Scene, right? Have you heard of Broken Social Scene? Have I ever talked to you about them? They're like this weird Canadian band that has like 9 members that like they work with Feist. You know Leslie Feist? 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me na 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 na.
No, maybe I've heard it.
It's like it plays like on a 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me that you love me more. That chick. They worked with her early on. They're like a really big deal.
I'm coming up, so you better get the party started.
That's Pink. That's like some pop music shit.
Coming up, so you better get the party started. Get it started in here. Better get it started.
That's what real pop music is a heavy dance beat.
Remember
there should be someone who really blends those two worlds.
Listen to this. Remember the millennial whoop?
Pop and the
stuff. You remember the millennial whoop? You know about the millennial whoop? Like Katy Perry going, ooh ah ooh ah, ooh ah ooh ah oh 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 oh.
Really?
going like
they call it the millennial whoop.
Like a lot of pop songs had
let me finish
to be catchy.
Let me
it was
finish
like a
my point about broken
psychological
social
thing
scene
to
first.
automatically be catchy.
Let me finish my broken social scene point.
Okay.
So John Wayne, a perfectly white, uncancelled rapper, said that he's a fascist in a thing nobody noticed like 10 years ago. Back when Broken Social Scene released their self-titled album, which was actually their second album, there's a song with the lyrics, I don't even want to say it on a podcast. He talks about a particular age that he is, and then he says, "You fucked me in the ass." Those are the lyrics.
That's
he says,
like a
back in the day,
expression.
If you catch my drift,
it's kind of like an expose.
You fucked me in the ass, and then he starts talking about
very direct
eating shit.
Bruh.
Those are the lyrics. I like to eat shit because shit tastes good.
It's one of those songs.
Broken
that's
Social
like,
Scene. 9 Canadian dudes who are white.
It's one of those songs where like this.
And I get it. It was a different time.
It sounds super catchy.
It was a different.
And then
time,
you listen to the lyrics, and you're like, whoa.
But it's the most
this is so serious.
Like alarmingly weird shit that has ever been put to music.
Not really, dude. Like you'd be surprised. Like,
well, I mean,
some shit's like a joke too.
There's
like,
the John Lennon. There's that John Lennon song, "Woman is the N-word of the world."
Dude, that's crazy.
There's Patti Smith said the N, or it was either Patti Smith or Alice Cooper said the N-word in a song, and that's like still up on Spotify too.
Oh my god, yeah. Like those are just like totally normalized. It's like, oh, it's just part of history. Like that's not cancelable.
I mean, I guess. I wonder if it was adjudicated in
like
a court of law.
You kind of get
it was
like
a different time.
Well, it's like the idea that he's getting across. It was more normal to like use that term, I guess. For I don't know, man. Like I guess it was like a more accepted or something.
It was considered radical in a political way.
Well, yeah.
This was the punk.
It was like saying it like
Lennon.
Oh, it's science.
Some
like,
of the most political
dude, I don't even
stuff.
know.
That's why I like the anti-folk music.
It was like saying it like that. It was like the politically correct way to say it back then, or something.
No,
like,
just
or,
in general, just fuck like putting a political
thought.
Message in your song. Weird. Songs should be about dancing and like how cool
it shouldn't come from
shitty it is to
that
be in love.
Guy's mouth if he's gonna use that kind of language to explain that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But did you hear what happened today? There's this song World War III with a bunch of anti-Semitic lines in it, but he also hits the hard R in it, the N-word with the hard R. He said that he's not anti-Semitic anymore. And he took out all of the anti-Semitic lines from the song, but he kept the part with the hard R. Is that?
I mean, you can if you want to, but it's like people are gonna repeat the song.
But he said on Twitter he's not anti-Semitic anymore, and he's like spreading love and stuff. So it's like,
I don't know, man. I think honestly, like I don't know, man. I think he's like. Maybe he's frustrated about like how he has like millions of dollars of like child support every month, and
he's on like a wacky level.
He has to like make
his wife is like an Australian mafia person allegedly.
He has to like I don't
want the Australian mafia coming out.
He might have to do like the wackiest shit to get attention, like I'm a fucking Nazi, all this stuff, just to like.
No, he's been on nitrous and shit. I'm pretty sure when you lose brain cells, you don't get them back. So. I don't want to make a pithy remark about the mental health or whatever, but like
there's so many different things.
Did you hear about Bianca though? She's part of the Australian mafia, apparently, allegedly.
Is that Kanye's new lady?
They're trying to sue that dentist that got him like hooked on nitrous, apparently.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna say like when you're a celebrity.
Anyway,
your mindset's so different than like a normal person. So like, and he's been like in a car accident. I can't tell if
he's like trying to be. It all started with that too.
So much different stuff.
In a way,
he
kind of has a similar story to Tom York.
I'm sure he wants to like actually just see his kids and stuff, but it's like he wants to be a simple. You can't live a simple life at this point. He's like. Yeah. You're not with the woman, like you don't have full custody.
I think Azalea Banks.
As long as he's doing crazy shit and like being on drugs at all or anything, like he's not gonna get visitation.
Yeah.
And he has to be like sensational and stuff to like get attention to like sell anything. And he's like, I think, what I was gonna say is like he has to literally like appeal to like the right wing, basically, and like appeal to anybody and have the widest audience possible.
I don't know if he's
like
trying
sell
to
merch
appeal
or something,
to anybody.
or appeal to actual Nazis. Like he wants to sell like a swastika shirt.
I think he's just.
And they're gonna not. Then they're never gonna wear it outside. They're gonna wear it inside with nobody around. Like, oh.
You know, he should watch that. He should watch
that
piece of television cinematic history, Lost, produced by J.J. Abrams.
Dude, Lost. When I watched Lost, I just felt lost.
He's lost spiritually.
He needs to watch Lost to get found again. He needs to watch Found. You ever watched Found? From George R.R. Martin, the creator of Game of Thrones, and the comes Found.
The
9-season series.
2. Have you ever watched From? The other, it's like the
From
new,
Soft, who brought you Dark
2.
Souls, Elden Ring.
Yeah, I like that.
And Armored Core.
Found.
Found.
Okay, so instead of being on an island, Found takes place on an Arctic mountain, and it's like a waypoint.
Dude,
that's why they get.
Do you know
the
game Lost Planet? Speaking of Lost Planet is on an Arctic planet. It's totally frozen and you need thermal energy that's slowly draining. So
yeah,
you have like thermal energy in your suit.
What's the company that made that game?
Capcom, I think. Capcom?
Oh no! I'm thinking of something else. Lost
company,
Odyssey.
But it's under Lost Odyssey.
Those are both really cool games.
Lost Odyssey is a
correct?
console-locked game to like Xbox 360.
Yeah.
It was made by like former developers that worked on Final Fantasy, and so it has similar elements to Final Fantasy. You have more players.
The Spirits Within guy.
It's turn-based, but you have like a back row that can have 3 people, and then a front row with 2 people.
Yeah.
Everybody has like all these items, and when you wear the items like earrings, etc., like accessories, they actually have them on. Oh, sorry, I just punched myself in the ear. They like literally wear the items.
Apologize to me for it.
Well, I don't know if it fucked up the audio or something. I don't know.
My stomach is grumbling. No, that sounds like an incredibly chill game.
No, you have to buy an Xbox for it. It was like photorealistic. Well, you could buy the newer Xbox.
The other one is not that fun, though, is it? Lost Planet?
It might be on... I think they brought it to Xbox Marketplace. Lost Planet's cool. It's a third-person like shooter. But it's like you're fighting aliens. Like, they're like heated up. They're like aliens that are hot. And like they can melt snow and shit because they just have thermal energy. And then you have
aliens that are hot, but not in like the sex way.
No, like thermal energy... Like, they're like giant moths and shit. Or, I forget what you fight, but you have these walker mech suits that are like... You have mech suits.
They have air conditioning inside of them, basically?
They're just like...
You have to stay cool. A big part of the game is staying cool, right? Well,
no, you're staying hot because it's a snowy Arctic planet. That's
okay,
like,
it's the same difference,
and then you're... suited up and you're exploring or whatever, you're trying to find like resources, I guess, basically. And then the second planet, I'm pretty sure they like colonize the planet, and the planet is going through a warming phase anyways, where like now there's spots that are like all warm and like there's actual plants and jungles and stuff. And then you go to like space and you fight in space and on the space stations.
So it's not
like a whole Gundam
it's
thing.
Not like annoying gameplay.
It's like where you just keep playing the story.
Too. It's not you
play
game.
It's almost like Gears of War or like something like that. I don't know how to explain it, but you can have different loadouts and you unlock stuff, and it's fun. It's like it has replayability on the second one at least too.
I don't know. I only like boring.
It's kind of cool.
Turn-based games.
Yeah. It's like a action game because there's like bosses. The first one was like it has visual cues where you shoot like the orange parts of the aliens.
That's what I was going to say, is that if there's a From that's the
like
anti-lost, then there's a 2. Or no, a Found that's the anti-lost. There's a 2 that's the anti-From. And 2 takes place in space because they're going to space. They're going to the moon. Is that
Lunar.
good or what?
From soft to...
Do you want to produce these 2 television series with me? With using like cardboard in like a basement?
It'll be like the Star Trek, the beginning of Star Trek, where you punch the screen in, it's like fucking cardboard, just dents in. It's like a piece of paper. Like, bah. They had like cheap sets where they
From
use
the
like
old school,
they use like
the William Shatner one,
appliances and stuff. Yeah, and they had like pieces of paper that were like computer screens, and he has to break the screen, and you could just tell it's like paper. Or when he's fighting the lizard, and like they throw the rocks, and you could tell the rocks are like so light. They're like less than a pound.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But it was so classic. You can't really get away with that unless it's like actually meant to be funny now. That was like actually serious.
And Star Trek The Next Generation, do you know the thing about that is that they had smelly suits.
They had smelly suits?
The whatever costume stuff.
Ooh, so it was like
things.
chemicals and stuff that smelled bad all the time?
No, it was like sweat.
Oh, like they would have to wear the same stuff all the time?
They didn't get washed enough.
Yeah, so they would have to just like be all gross. Like they'd have to like pretend like they're not gross.
That sounds nasty.
All the time. That's
have you ever seen Red Dwarf?
You don't have a big enough crew to like sanitize shit.
I was recently learning more about this show, Red Dwarf.
Red Dwarf. That sounds like a stage of like a sun collapsing.
It's like a sitcom that takes place. It's like Futurama but real life kind of.
Damn.
And it's British and it's from like the I don't know 90s, 2000s.
Red Dwarf.
And it's got the guy
Third
from
Rock
Robot
from the
Wars.
Sun. Third Rock from the Sun. Red Dwarf.
Dwarf Fortress.
Hey, what are you doing?
We gotta get dwarves on the moon. Has that been a thing?
We have
Has
to
there been
send
space like elves and dwarves?
What do you call one
Fantasy Star?
What do you call one billionaire on the moon?
Mr. Wall Street. But what do you?
A star. First contact. What do you call 70 billionaires on the moon? A beginning.
The plan for
what do you call all of the
nuke us out of existence?
What do you call all of the billionaires on the moon? Problem solved.
No, dude, that could be the problem solved for them after we get
they can have like all the gold and like crazy resources that are on the moon, and they can build from that like creative mode in Minecraft. You start from scratch, mine your own stuff, finally do the work yourself. It'll be
nobody
like
wants to live on the
South
moon.
Africa for your own. Just work hard.
I guess
finally do the work.
So
if you work hard
in a
enough,
possible future where they are living on the moon and the Earth still exists, then I guess it's probably going to be a punishment for them.
If you get to the point where you build enough and you could build rockets and bring that resource to Earth to sell to a seller,
do you believe in the underground bunkers?
Them and all that stuff, then you've earned it.
Do you believe in the underground bunkers the billionaires made in like New Zealand or whatever?
That totally, dude. I'm sure there's underground bunkers they've been investing in for a long time. I'm pretty sure Joe Rogan and stuff like already bought one and shit, and it's like public. Like lots of
yeah, but Joe Rogan's the kind of guy that would do that to just be like, hey, see, people are doing this.
No, they've all like rented out. Like anybody that's like. What is it called? Like
I believe it, I guess, but it's like that's one of those ones that seems like a stretch.
No, it's totally true. Like
seems
it's like crazier than Vault Tech. Like all these people like probably live. That's why like
is
all
that
these
Half-Life. What's Vault Tech?
Well, why do you think all these like underground vaults
Fallout?
For like nukes and stuff so that they can survive? And it's just kind of unfair because like most normal people like aren't going to be able to like have a spot.
You can't compare real life to the Fallout series.
No, I'm just saying it's like a thing where like celebrities and stuff are like treated like they're more important than normal people.
Well, they are. They're beautiful. We need to worship them.
Yeah. Because they've amassed
especially
more wealth
if they live in
a better
California.
lifestyle. Well, I think that's why a lot of people live near the same areas that are like celebrities and stuff. First of all, like obviously you want to be discovered and get attention, all that stuff. That's why people are in LA for the entertainment industry and all that. But everybody moved to Texas too, and it's like I'm sure that they have like all this infrastructure. Like Elon Musk is out of Texas, I think, with a lot of shit, and like
I don't know what's going on in Texas.
Built bunkers everywhere for like the rich people.
I guess it's just,
and they all have spots.
I guess they probably just recognized that it was like a growing economy.
You have to be able to like get into a bunker within a few minutes to be able to survive. Like I'm sure like if they have contingency plans, like they have to live like
a few minutes of
access to it.
Like a nuclear strike?
Yes.
It could be something other than that.
You're not gonna have, but
it could be like 12 Monkeys. Have you seen 12 Monkeys?
It could just be, I'm sure it's even for just like the collapse society or like maybe riots even or something like that where they can just be
Monkeys,
safe
that's
and have enough food to like, they
to.
can hold out and have like weapons and like crazy shit, cutting edge, whatever. They're rich, they can buy like all the nicest stuff like to survive and stuff.
It could be like
a lot of people invest in like night vision goggles and shit, which is like pretty cheap. It's kind of like people are like meta tactics of like a video game. They've already like set it up for like if shit hits the fan, like right wingers and stuff like that, like guns and night vision goggles, because those are like thousands of dollars. It's like kind of a flex because like, if you have like thermal optics and shit, it's like military. Like if you want to look at like a scope, if you want to look at a scope that's like a thermal scope, it's like 5,000 to 7,000 to 10,000, 15,000. Like
I guess if you have like Bitcoin money lying around and you're like
that shit's so expensive
already hoarding the Alex Jones.
Shouldn't even be talking about this.
You know, it's not polite to talk about politics.
The collapse of society. No, I'm not even getting that political. It's more above politics of just like the collapse of society and like apocalyptic events or like catastrophic events level where like normal society is actually disrupted to a point besides just like economy being in a weird spot and like inflation and shit. Like more stuff that's like changing people's lives, I guess, that could happen, like climate events or anything. Like any of that could be reasons, not just like riots or anything, but any of that could be reasons to have people like need to go into bunkers or something. But of course rich people have the ability to like protect themselves more from crazy stuff.
Yeah,
so they invest in it and plan it out.
I've been noticing,
and they can get experts to tell them everything they need of what they need to know.
There's like people who drive Teslas who go to like the same stores as me, and that's like funny to me because it's like,
well, they're saving the environment by all the lithium.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. It's such a status symbol that it's funny to be. I mean.
Yeah, no, that's it's kind of
there
a
are people
symbol.
who own like Teslas who are rich enough to not go into public places.
It's a big iPhone that you
sometimes
drive.
Not so much. Sometimes they're kind of just middle class, right? They're not the most expensive car on the planet.
No, because
it's not like buying like a fucking Maybach or something.
I mean, that's the whole theme with the newer Teslas was like it's a middle class car. Like it's not like expensive. Like each time they got cheaper, and then this new wave was like this newest wave that they had of like the sedans, or like Elon Musk was saying like even the normal average Joe could save up and buy one because like 25 grand or something.
I haven't been
like
seeing more Cybertrucks,
like a normal.
But then I think there was a huge recall on Cybertrucks.
There's a huge recall. I've seen people. I saw a dude that had a wrap on his
Cybertrucks politics.
Dude, it's had a lot of because there was like the veteran that blew himself up in front of the Elon Musk's like building or the Trump Tower.
Yeah.
And like I didn't think that was political. I thought that was just somebody blowing up. Well, yeah, it was. I thought it was political, but I thought it was somebody like.
Well, apparently, car dealerships in general have been.
So a bunch of them got recalled. They rust. They rust. They have like this like. If you wash them, it ruins this layer that's over the stainless steel.
Seriously?
And then they can rust. Yeah, so people like wash them, and then it can rust after that because you're not supposed to like wash it like that. And then like people get wraps too, because if you just get a wrap with them, then it kind of covers the problem. Yeah, it's harder to repaint it.
Is that why everybody gets wraps?
I saw a Cybertruck that was wrapped to make it look like it was rusty. Like these people have like $100,000 to buy on the Cybertruck, and then just to make the joke that it's rusting, so somebody would be like, haha, your Cybertruck's rusting, on own the freaking Republicans, and then
then
they'll blow up and then it'll blow up in their face. Oh, it's not actually rusty. He just wrapped it to look rusty. I got fucking got, bro.
You're brokey. You couldn't. And I was just like, wrap.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like in your face, and I was just like, oh my god, dude! Like the wealth disparity in this country is so ridiculous, bro. I wonder what I just think like, what kind of job does he do to afford
they're not
that?
a nuisance kind of on the road.
No, I don't think so. Everybody's driving
Maybe
them carefully.
Because they're automated in a way that makes it impossible. I don't know.
They probably drive.
You can turn off the self-driving.
They drive super smooth. It probably
beeps it. Can you turn off the?
No, the self-driving is its own thing.
Like you're close to something.
Even when you're doing the self-driving, you're supposed to like have your hands on the wheel.
If you know how Teslas work, if you've ever driven a Tesla before, call
especially
into
the trucks. Did you know the trucks are illegal?
555 Friendship Emu.
Dude, Cybertruck is illegal.
555
is like illegal in Europe because they have laws where
what's illegal in Europe?
Cybertruck, because it has sharp angles where if you hit a pedestrian, they have laws that actually thinks about like, if you hit something, no matter what speed, it
apparently
has those sharp angles that could really,
those hood ornaments that come out, or like the engines that are like lifted above the, those are like illegal in Australia.
Yeah, because there's probably a lot of animals that can get caught in that. Because there's a lot of different types of animals in Australia, obviously.
Oh, maybe because of the animals.
There's probably going to
pedestrians
fly up,
too.
And there's probably endangered animals and stuff, and like they actually care about their environment.
I think the Queen's English Empire.
Well, it's just like I noticed, like outside of the U.S., there's a lot of like common sense laws that the U.S. doesn't also follow.
I think they have more consideration for their.
Like not having the orange dye that's like linked to cancer and shit.
Here's a political ass question. Do you think that freedom of speech in America is a catch-20? Is a fake new?
I think that like people like get in trouble for stuff that should be free speech.
There's a lot of Americans always trying to dunk on Europeans for having all the freedom of speech, but then you hear about some kid who like it was a protester, like pro-Palestine protester, and he gets deported or whatever, right?
Yeah, and I think like their only ability to deport people is if they like have a visa or they're not like a full American citizen. But then they're pushing it as far as like, if you're from somewhere else but you are an American citizen, we can still send you off without due process.
Even it's like American citizens sometimes.
I've definitely noticed like the breakdown of like the actual checks and balances to where like it seems like shit's just not following the actual rules. Like we're not getting the full Constitution for sure.
I don't know.
As free speech goes,
I think there's legal
because
stuff I don't understand
there's definitions being changed to make like you're showing empathy or you want to help some like normal civilians, and that's being twisted into like, now you're supporting terrorism. That's basically the gist of it.
Yeah, I mean,
because they're changing like the definitions to make it like anti-Semitic or whatever.
Rarely is it something that isn't. It'll always be a protest that is a clash with police, where someone gets arrested for that, right? That's January. No matter what your political is, like January 6th, or like the
even the right wingers, like they
Columbia
like squished
pro-Palestine.
I think there's a police officer that like died of like anxiety because he had like a heart attack. There was one that got injured because he was crushed up because everybody was like
but I'm just saying. But then people got in both of those situations. One of them was a bunch of right wingers. One of them was a bunch of left wingers. In both those situations, a bunch of people clashed with police.
Jan 6, all of the counter protesters that were left wing were like outside of the White House. They didn't storm the grounds. Then once
but I'm saying
also a January 6er died from falling off the wall.
When people do get criminalized for expressing their First Amendment rights, it's always the right to protest that it comes.
Oh my god, dude!
It isn't the government knocking on your door because you wrote.
Dude, I watched January 6th. I watched the night before January 6th live on the streets, like the marches and stuff. And I watched January 6th live.
For real?
I watched live reporting.
You're a nerd, man.
I watched live reporting of January 6th.
That's so dorky of you.
On the grounds. I watched it live, like everything that happened pretty much because
funny, though.
Jordan Sheridan from Status Quo had a guy
that
he hired that was on the ground reporting, where he just went in all the crowds. Like,
did that guy get arrested?
No, but he was just, because he probably had press and stuff. Like, he was just live reporting. He was allowed to. Like, at the time, they basically let them walk in.
You know, they arrested 1 million citizens that day, and they're all still in jail.
They did not.
Yeah.
They arrested some people.
They arrested 0.01% of the U.S. population got arrested on January 6th.
Shaman. They arrested him for a while, and then he got out, and then he was on Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan.
Oh, I think
Andrew
I might have
Callahan
seen
did
that.
like a whole thing with him and went like a deep dive and like objectively like hung out with QAnon Shaman. And what's weird is QAnon Shaman has some like
QAnon
Shaman.
QAnon?
He like
how
he like
different?
respects
It's
like
non, bro.
QAnon Shaman. Anyways,
how many different ways?
Dude,
I'm sorry.
I'm like Eminem, where it depends on how you pronounce it to announce it.
Hot coffee
with the
pot.
bounce it, I'ma bounce it. Get on my bounce it. Get on my bounce it. On my ounce it.
I'm gonna dude if you don't get on my bounce it.
If you don't get on
I'm
my
gonna
bounce
dude
it,
if you don't get on my bounce it. Dude, I'm gonna if you don't get on my bounce it.
You don't gotta announce it when you bounce it. Silence of the Lambs.
I
totally derailed everything we were talking about. Fuck everything we were talking about.
I just don't know how to react to freestyling sometimes. I have to be honest. We were having an intense philosophical, political discussion.
I had a couple of things I was trying to say, but I totally lost track of that. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm
it's
done with politics,
scary.
man.
Yeah, it's just kind of scary, and yeah,
it's going to be crazy. The budget reconciliation
either side of the aisle,
bill.
there's
Do you know about
very
this?
big red flags. You know,
everyone keeps talking about all this budget shit, and I'm like, is it the budget reconciliation bill, which I read is going to be in September? So I figure I don't have to worry about politics until like September. I'll read about it then.
Well,
you're not going to do anything to
us.
change how the fucking budget reconciliation bill is negotiated.
Oh, is that the big beautiful bill or some shit?
I guess that's what the hands-off protests are attempting to do.
We got to all call that
but
what it would is, where it's officially called big beautiful bill.
It would be nice if that was their explicit, like, single
sections
demand.
Of the government called Doge. Like, fucking, way to fucking ruin, like, the Shiba Inu fucking dog fucking face. Just a simple meme that some cringe.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's not a cool meme anymore.
It would have been fine if it wasn't ruined. And it's like fucking, it's like beat it into the ground. Like, oh my God, attach your whole identity to the fucking shit. Like, it fucking ruins the joke. Like,
I mean, who cares though? It's just a dog meme.
Well, it's like taking like copyright claim of it. Like, it's now your property.
It's not copyrighted. It's just a random image of a dog.
But it's associated so hard with the wrong thing now. Like Pepe the fucking Frog.
Dude, I think you have Elon derangement syndrome.
No, what I'm saying is Pepe the Frog didn't start as like a weird 4chan thing either. It was created as like a little kid's cartoon character that turned into Pepe the Frog.
Pepe the Frog is kind of the opposite of the Cheem's Shiba Inu, if you think about it.
Yeah, it was like a left-wing thing turned right-wing.
Transformation.
And then the Shiba Inu was a right-wing, and it turned into Elon Musk, which is the left-wing, right?
No, I mean, it was like liberalized as opposed to popularized.
Shiba Inu was liberalized?
I mean, Elon Musk is a liberal in like the
no, he's not.
Quintessential version of the people who are liberals are like Charlotte Fang from
I'm not sure the full definition, but
from
like,
fucking Remelia, Destiny.
No, he's like
it's people who are obsessed with like fucking bureaucratic bullshit.
Isn't Elon Musk more like of a technocrat, which means like he only believes
technocrats
in,
are liberal. The technocrat dialogue came from the neoliberalism dialogue. It's a subset of the neoliberalism dialogue.
I'm not sure if this is correct, but I thought a technocrat was like somebody that believes that only like experts should run society, like only
Is that not what liberals were? Is that not what liberals were in like 2003? The expert opinions back when leftists were the ones who were anti-vaxxers.
Well, like what I was gonna say was,
they want an elite class of people to like rule over with their education.
I don't know what it is. Elon Musk is more the type of person that like billionaires and people with the most money that already kind of sway society, like they should be in control, I guess. Like the elite should be in control, which is like oligarchy, I guess, pretty much.
But what liberal oligarchy
he also doesn't want any regulation, so it's almost like anarcho oligarchy,
anarcho-capitalist oligarchy,
something like that, because he doesn't want to get regulation because he doesn't want to be like slowed down from his objective, like what he's interested in doing. He has like these special interests, but he has billions of dollars, so he's like going to space actually, or like he's hiring like the NASA scientists that aren't in NASA to like build engines and shit, or from wherever. China,
I don't know.
He's
neoliberalism
like
to
weird.
Me, people don't use the explicit term neoliberalism anymore.
Well, like NASA, like
I guess because it's not neo anymore.
NASA like has to work with Elon Musk no matter what, because like SpaceX is like working in tandem to like develop shit, because SpaceX is privately owned, so they can come up with stuff that isn't on the budget agenda of NASA. Like NASA has to be sorted out with the government and have budgets and all this stuff. And if it's privately owned with SpaceX, they can like design these new designs that NASA doesn't have.
Okay,
and then NASA can
business
go,
regulations,
hey, can we use that?
No, business regulations is like a fucking non-starter issue. It's like a wedge issue. What about the fucking H-1B visas thing? Did he not take the more liberal stance? Did Elon Musk not take the more liberal stance on? He wants as many legal immigrants
said I have his derangement
as possible.
Syndrome. Well, maybe because
You don't know his stance on the H-1B visas thing?
I don't even know his like politics. Maybe that's what you mean, but it's like I don't fuck with him now. He's a dick. He's full of himself. Billionaires should not make all the decisions. He's not as smart. It's like Dunning-Kruger, man. Just because you know certain things and you're an expert in certain things does not mean you're an expert in everything. Your brain cannot be an expert in every single thing.
The Doge is literally the digital service. You're not better than everybody. The Doge is the digital service, which is an organization that was created by Barack
Elon
Obama.
Musk's. It's just a crypto that, well, I don't know if he owns it, but he
heads it.
Okay, but I don't know if he always did. It's
Elon Musk.
As far as I knew, it was some cryptocurrency, and he was just always, every time he would tweet about it, it would bump. So like he's manipulating stocks just for the fun of it. Yeah, that's not happening
anymore.
Yeah, and then
crypto isn't like the same as it was.
He had to step down as like the CEO
a little bit
of Tesla, because what he was saying publicly was like affecting the stock, and so the FD or whatever, the SEC like made him step down as CEO, and he had to appoint a new CEO because he was saying like,
and now he's like CFO.
He was like, we have a deal with Saudi Arabia, funding secured. Like he's already talked to people and stuff, and it's like nothing was official.
Okay, but what you're saying about like
and made
about like
up.
him not being an expert and he shouldn't like make all these decisions. The digital service and the Doge are the same thing. It was created by Barack Obama, and it was created explicitly for the purpose of replacing people with AI. And Barack Obama created it. All they did was change the name. That's why it exists. That's why they didn't need congressional approval.
That's also why the two-party system is stupid, is because they're all doing the same shit.
Yeah, so I mean,
the system's still
you can't say that Elon Musk isn't a liberal when he's literally using this device created by Barack Obama to fucking like control the government with technocracy.
Well, yeah,
that's what liberals do. That's literally what liberalism is.
Well, he used to be like more of a Democrat. Like Democrats used to like Elon Musk because he was like a eco-friendly dude.
A lot of people don't seem to know that. He was
trying to like be.
Isn't it a sneaky thing?
That's the whole thing. Is
they didn't create a new agency.
Elon Musk got just popular because everybody.
And then they didn't need votes to do it.
Well, he presented like when Elon Musk like became popular and stuff. He had like a viral. He had like a weird, smart way of becoming famous, like, and seeming like a total genius and stuff. Like he's the next genius. Like everybody was looking for like a hero that would like move society forward into like the future, and he's been chosen. Like even like other billionaires that are investors and stuff like think of him as like this golden child that's like bringing us into the future and stuff, and he thinks of himself as
probably
that.
just paid
like,
media or something.
It's like it's so blown out of proportion because nobody's like that special is all I'm saying. Because like we all have to like there's experts and stuff, and everybody
some people
has to,
think he is that special.
There has to be organization.
Some people really
of
do
a lot
think
of
that
people
he's the Andrew Carnegie of our generation, whatever the fuck that means.
It takes a village.
What did Andrew Carnegie do? He made a concert hall, right? And he had like a lot of other buildings, and he employed
Scientology owns a lot of buildings. They own like prime real estate all over the globe. Like all these awesome spots.
I didn't get a chance. I did go to New York one time. I didn't get a chance to see that magnificent hall that he's known for.
Do you think if we joined Scientology, we could like possibly go on vacation at some of like the spots in the world, like give us free flights and stuff?
No. I actually knew someone who got into Scientology.
You'd have to keep paying double.
You're going to get to go places, but it's going to but it's going to be more expensive than if you just paid out of pocket to go on
that's why they target like celebrities, because it's like the first appointment's like $400. And then it's like if you want to learn the secrets.
Yeah, no, it's really fucked up.
It's tier.
My
it's
friend,
like it's a tiered like it's literally like the fucking.
My friend who was telling me about it made it sound like it was really fucked up because she was like, "Yeah, dude,
no,
I was recovering from I was trying to recover from heroin addiction, and they were exploiting me for thousands of dollars. Isn't that fucking awesome?"
No, what they do,
wow, that's incredibly evil.
Yeah, what they do is they immediately like treat it like a therapy session. They're like, "Tell us every dark secret that you have,"
yeah,
and then they
blackmail
blackmail you with your dark secrets. Like, we're gonna let everybody know. We're gonna let your employer know that you do this or that. Like they immediately like get people to open up and be honest, and then they exploit them for money.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they fuck with your head. They have like weird, like it's like a lie detector test. It's like a lie detector test, but it's not. It's like a weird like Thetan device, and they're like, okay, you're lying. Da, da, da. It's like weird psychology shit. They like Stockholm syndrome you into it, and then they're like, oh, but the next step, to get to the next step you have to pay double, and it's like 200, 400, and then for the next session you have to have 600. Now you have to have 1200, and it keeps doubling. And then celebrities have possibly the ability to get to the last tier because of how much money they have. They're so important. They could actually get to the highest level in the game because they have tens of thousands of dollars to drop.
It's one of those things that like probably works for the people who believe in it, though. It's like the AA system works for people who believe in it.
Yeah, I think some people treat it as kind of like
it's like very mystical.
Well, yeah,
it's a new type of science.
I think that's kind of what gets people into it, and then certain people like get disillusioned at some point, and in a lot of ways,
Carl Jung
don't want to let you get out of it.
A lot of that stuff seems to have started with Carl Jung.
Well, the guy who L. Ron Hubbard, isn't he like the one who wrote? He wrote like all the books that
L. Ron Hubbard seems like a guy that was inspired by Carl Jung.
All of the things in Scientology happen to be what the guy who started Scientology was writing about when all of his novels were actual sci-fi writing, like literally like classified as sci-fi books, and then he turned it into like a religion because he realized like the profitability, like if you have churches, you don't have to pay tax.
Do you know that the Illuminati thing
to start a religion, it's like you have enough money for property, etc. Like to start a religion, you need an actual church building. There's regulations for what counts as a church. You have to have enough people attending regularly. You have to have like some form of writing or a book or some sort of thing that's like their teachings or some sort of
so they got classified as a religion.
So some sort of belief system. Yeah, and if you meet all these markers, you can create a religion.
We should create a religion, dude.
It's just like, and then you're untaxable. And then it's like, then you're collecting all this money from people and then having goons like go through their trash and then like find like dirt on them, like look through their mail and shit.
Did they? That's
how they blackmail people. Yes, they've had people like there's goons that go through your mail if you're like celebrities and shit.
Did you know that
look and see if there's any dirt on you?
The Illuminati conspiracy theory started with a. It started with a. What do you call it? A sci-fi book. I couldn't think of the word for sci-fi book.
Well,
I'm
a lot
sorry.
of things in sci-fi were like based on
the
actual
Illuminatus
science
trilogy
or
or something.
What is it called? Like science.
That's like a real world example.
There's like science speculation, and then like those things become real because
Illuminati is like the dark. It's like
a lot of sci-fi is based in like real
It's
concepts.
like the alternate J.J. Abrams of Scientology. It's called the Illuminati, where you become a 33-degree.
A lot of things
Freemason.
like sci-fi things have predicted like future technologies.
Yo, dude, that's the thing that they don't understand about sci-fi. It's not about the future. It's already happening, man.
It's not about.
It's not even about the future. That stuff's happening already.
It's not actually about fiction, bro. It's about facts, yo. It's not actually fiction, yo. It's reality.
Bro.
It's the future.
You're
it's
crazy.
Like psychic.
You're clipping. You clipping that shit, man.
Oh.
I'm so hungry. Science fiction is really great, though. I'm trying to experience every like space opera.
I'm trying to experience everything that sci-fi has to offer on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Welcome to the incredible world of sci-fi.
Welcome.
If you step to the room on your left, you'll experience British sci-fi.
To Megaton.
That's one of the greatest things in media.
A cold glass of water.
British steampunk, so good.
Britpunk,
Victorian level steampunk.
Victorian steampunk overload.
Just kidding. Gearcore is an ugly aesthetic for ugly people.
I didn't say that.
That's a little preview of some material from my upcoming radio play.
What kind of new cores could we invent?
Gearcore is just like fake. It's my fake version of steampunk.
Gear core.
I'm working. Do you want to get real for a second? I am working on an actual bona fide new genre of music.
I have an idea for a genre name. It's called, instead of jazz, it's called jizz music. And it goes something like this.
That's just jazz, man. You're just doing jazz over again and calling it something else. That's not how you create a new genre. That's what jazz is. You just did like a cabaret big band style. So like Cab Calloway and shit like that.
Jazz hands.
Jizz hands.
Jizz hands. Exactly.
Oh my God.
Jizz hands.
I like how
Jizz hands.
Oh man, we've just been having serious political discussions this whole time, and finally we're opening up and laughing.
No, we finally got to jizz hands.
I think we might have done a little bit too much kratom before this.
A little too serious. I've never really talked about
just
politics before on the podcast. So
I used to be more afraid to do it. I'm not sure how I feel about the first 20 minutes of this being about Kanye West, but
yeah,
fuck it.
I didn't really want to start. I didn't really want to start.
Oh, do you know about Dave Blunt's, by the way? Have you looked at? Have you experienced any of the Dave Blunt stuff? Do you know about him?
No.
Oh, okay.
Who's David Blunt?
He's the guy. Remember when Kanye took that Designer song, the Panda by Designer?
No.
He took
I know nothing.
It was a previously existing song, and he took it.
I know about MF Doom and Tyler the Creator, and Delta Homo Funky Sapien.
Okay, so Dave Blunt's is basically just this. He's this
the funky Homo Sapien.
Auto-tune rapper guy who's really big. He's 500 pounds straight up. He can barely he collapsed on stage one time or something.
Wait,
he's
this is
working.
David Blunt?
Dave Blunt's.
David Blunt's. Dave Blunt's.
He goes by Dave.
Dave Blunt's. Does he smoke blunts after blunts?
He does perks and lean and all that shit.
Is that the rapper?
He's working with Kanye.
Is that the rapper that like Sam Hyde is friends with that does lean? He's like a white dude named like Joey. Oh, it is Joey, right?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the black
He's like
rapper.
a blonde dude named Joey, and like he did lean at the first Creator Clash. And then they got kicked out.
Dave Blunt's is, first of all, way younger. He's like a Zoomer. He, in his songs, he refers to girls by like their Twitter usernames. He's that kind of guy.
I've never.
Crazy.
That's like a new breed. I've never heard of that type of guy.
It's
like
interesting.
I've never even heard of a rapper that like calls people out by their gamer tag on like.
What his biggest song is
like
called "Crying in the Kitchen,"
ID.
and I think it's about
Crying
how
in the
he like
kitchen?
eats his feelings and does lean because he's sad
It's
about
like-
girls.
it's like
it's
his
kind of like
ability-
emo rap. It's
That's
kind of in the vein of
Crying in the
fucking
Kitchen.
Juice World.
Well,
and
it's like
that sort of
it's
shit.
like a guy that's supposed to have a tough aesthetic, showing his vulnerability by even like referencing that he cries, and instead
it's
of saying
kind of
crying in the
amazing
shower,
to imagine that this
instead of
guy, if
crying
you
in-
saw him,
instead of crying,
I don't want to be mean.
instead
but
of crying in the shower, like normal people do, he's got to say that I'm built
shit, I cry
different.
at church.
I've built different.
I'd be crying at church.
While I'm prepping my vegetables, while I'm prepping my food, I'm gonna be crying in the kitchen to get that salty
I cry at
flavor locked
movies.
in.
Which is my church.
I'll be crying all over that steak. I'm gonna marinate that shit overnight with my fucking tears in it. My blood, sweat, and tears. Actually, the blood of that cow. But
You ever seen that movie, Perfume?
My salty tears.
You ever seen Perfume?
My tears are so salty, it'll turn into beef jerky.
It's a horror movie. I'm not going to say anything about
You ever
it
heard
if
of
you've never
Cabin
seen it.
in the Woods?
It's really good, though. Cabin in the Woods, which one is
It's
that?
not really a horror movie because it turns into like a crazy like monster movie, more like. It, like,
I always
starts
get that one
Does it have
confused with
Chris
The
Ken-
Place
does it have-
Beyond the Pines.
does it have,
I think I
like,
said that on the
Chris
pod before.
Hemsworth or something, like Thor. Does it have him in it or something
I
like
don't
that?
know nothing about that shit.
Okay, it's like a weird movie.
Was that a remake?
I have no idea. It's from. I think it might have been based off a book or some shit, or like something else that was older. But the movie was kind of like a
I'm going to eat as
Imagining of the
soon
idea.
as we're done here. Oh, which is technically in a couple minutes.
noise.
Do you have
We made
anything
it
else you
through
want to say about
the whole thing?
the rap industry?
Just recently I watched a reel of MF Doom talking about his mask, and he was talking about how like hip hop, I guess it's with the genre hip hop, which is considered like past tense, but it's not dead. But like he was saying that hip hop and rap, or like the industry, is all about like how you look, how you sound, like your sound of your voice, like your style, like what brands you rep and all this stuff. But he wears the mask because it's more about the music and how it sounds, and how like anybody of any race can appeal to his music, not exclusively for like anybody in particular. It's like you just listen to the music. When you have a persona, I was gonna bring up like Daft Punk also does that. It would be cool to be anonymous when you're an artist, because it one creates intrigue, but also people are listening to the music more than some paying attention to something else. It's more about the music.
Apparently MF Doom sent out like imposters, because you couldn't tell
That's
who was behind
hilarious.
the mask. That was a story. It might be a rumor.
Well, you can tell when it's actually him.
It would be
'cause
really funny
like,
if it was
the way
true
it fits
and
on
like
his face
on
and stuff.
purpose.
But yeah, there's not very many interviews of him at all speaking. Apparently, he just didn't do interviews. He wasn't comfortable with that. So there's
What was
not
the group
that much
that he was
video
in
of him.
before he
Like,
went
people-
solo?
He is very like there's a mystique, huh?
What was the group he was in before he went solo?
I don't know, but I've heard some of his older stuff. His voice like changed. I think I've heard like a lot
Is
of his
MF
stuff.
Doom? MF Doom
He
might
has so
be
many
the
different
epitome.
personas. Well, he had a million different
crazy.
personas. Like when
Is
he started
MF
off,
Doom for white people or black people or
that's
both?
the whole thing. It's for
Dude,
everybody.
there's black dudes who are into Goku and Dragon Ball Z who are also really into MF Doom.
well,
Think about that.
I think. Well, it was on.
There's
he
all
wa-
sorts of
he
people
was linked,
listening
no,
to MF
he
Doom.
was
He's one of
linked
the most
with Cartoon
popular.
Network. He did stuff with Aqua
Yeah,
Teen
Cartoon
Hunger
Network's
Force.
known to have a
There was
large
Toonami.
African American demographic, so
No,
to
there was
speak.
there was dude, there's been awesome stuff like Afro
I'm
Samurai.
just saying. I'm just wondering.
Well, like
a lot of people would say that he's absolutely rap for white people, but those people were probably black people.
Stuff out of Toonami kind of started lo-fi.
That's what we should call this one.
It's
white
like
people.
It's like shit that's like new genres has come out. Like Toonami and I guess the network, Cartoon Network, have
Toonami
been
core.
pivotal to like actual like culture.
Toonami Adult Swim core. Well, that's a good one.
Everything's past.
I've actually been listening to the
whole
bump music.
Is like all of this stuff that already happened and like the culture, it was past tense. So people are thinking back on it and rewatching this stuff and like holding it in like their identity and their all this stuff, and it's becoming like culture.
That should be like the name of this episode.
Everybody likes those classic things because
white people rap.
It brings you back to a time before you knew about everything in the world and politics and all this stuff. And like the coolest stuff was Dragon Ball Z and like Yu Yu Hakusho.
White people cook.
And our first animes were like
what am I thinking of?
Some of the first animes that Westerners watched was like Dragon Ball Z and stuff on Toonami, and like that's where I saw Gundam.
What's your point?
People
like anime.
Not everybody liked anime back then, but the OGs broadcast that they liked because everybody was secretly watching Dragon Ball Z and shit. Actually, that wasn't as hidden.
Oh, so you're saying your point is that black people were watching anime early.
I wasn't talking about black people. I'm saying like
I want to talk about it, man. I want to talk about black people.
I watched it too. It was part of this certain generation of people, and Dragon Ball is always like a pretty masculine show. It's like fucking ripped ass dudes that could obliterate planets. Like,
race is important.
It's literally
race
about
matters.
Like power and like masculine energy for sure.
Race
and the
matters.
Original black. I mean, I said black. The original Dragon Ball was just cool. It was like
it had black face.
He was. I know, right? Like it had like some, because old Japanese, they didn't like have enough black people in their culture, and they had like the old school caricatures. Like they had like old school like cartoon.
I guess if you look at it through the lens of Japanese culture, there is a way of saying it's like it's weirdly the least
they're kind
racist.
Of racist. I mean, they're
black.
I think Japanese society is less racist now.
It's
but
like
the way that they think of black people is like.
What are you gonna do when like 1 in a million people is black?
Yeah, it stands out.
It's like a different.
It's intrigue. This is another thing. There's racism out of like more being intrigued over a culture, and then there's racism over like hating a group of people just because of the color of their skin or something.
Orientalism, they call it.
So it's like people are
the whole like
sometimes there's
touching
racism,
people's hair and shit like that.
They're just being like cringe pretty much, but they like probably like people, you know. But it's like they just don't get it because it's like culture shock, I guess. Or like somebody's
Can we call this episode "White People Rap"?
Yes, because I was rapping, so it's appropriate. I was beatboxing too.
You got any other ideas? Let's kick it. It's
go
been
back
over an
and play
hour.
Digimon World 3.
That's a good turn-based.